And here we go. Turang steps in. First pitch of the ball game is outside for ball one. What a showdown this is. The Brewers were very upset that the Cubs did not grant them a double header in June. After the Brewers won that final game, they were 6.5 back to start that day 2 months ago. And this is the result of that choice by the Cubs. So they play a doubleheader today, and it means the Brewers are in the middle of a stretch, Dilly, where they're playing 19 games in 18 days, and yet they have totally flipped the narrative.
Yeah, this is game number 4 into that 19 games in 18 days, and if you go back the last 2, Brewers played extra inning ball games the last 2 days, so extra innings, extra games. It's a lot of baseball for the Brewers.
Turang strikes out, and that's how the day begins for Cade Horton. That brings up Caleb Durbin. A little bit of a shift in the lineup with Turang swinging the bat well and hitting with power. He goes back into that leadoff spot. Remember how good the Brewers lineup got when Sal Frelick entered into the leadoff spot in June. So just a little tweak. Durbin in the number 2 spot today. Has been a little bit of a ripple effect, Dilly, with Isaac Collins active but not in the lineup. Still dealing with a sore back after he and his wife welcome in their first child. Sleeping on a chair will do that.
Yeah, right. We can vouch for that. But 3 days away from the team, 2 games. That's a tall order to say, hey, we need you to play 2 games after not playing any. So I think we'll hopefully see him in the second game.
So because Collins is out, Yelich goes to left, which puts Contreras in the DH spot, which then allows Danny Jansen to do the catching. And Durbin hits in the number 2 spot. Normally a team with this kind of record, the Brewers come in at 78-45. There's not a whole lot of changes in their lineup daily. That has not been the case with a Pat Murphy team, though. It's a mix-and-match ball club, a lot of versatility there. So it does not come as a shock when there is a lineup shuffle. I mean, they did lose a game after winning 14 in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
time to shake it up a little.
A lot of panic. Got to shake things up. Yeah, this is the 93rd different lineup that Pat Murphy has run out there. But the bones are there, just rearranged a little bit.
There's a line shot foul. Durbin, Illinois native, Chicago area, always loves playing here at Wrigley Field. He's had good success here in his rookie year. Says he's fought through all the nerves and all of that mystique about playing at Wrigley, and a ballpark that he certainly knew well and watched on TV growing up. He was more of a White Sox guy, though. At least that's what he says now that he's a Brewer.
Well, he almost took out his Brewer teammate Contreras on that check swing foul ball. Contreras did not move. It almost got him.
1-2 the count. In the air to center field. Wind is pretty neutral, going right to left. Crow Armstrong puts it away for the second out. And here comes Contreras. And Tim, he has been on a major heater since the All-Star break.
Just feeling more and more comfortable at the plate. We're starting to see the power. I mean, yesterday people were going nuts. I was going. At Great American Ballpark.
Powerball home run number 13 yesterday for Contreras. Tied the game. Brewers would lose the game in extra innings. And it was a game where really only 2 relievers were available, Tobias Myers and Grant Anderson. So the Brewers took a step back, not going to the whip with their best relievers to prepare for this Cubs series. Chad Patrick is back. He's the 27th man. You see him in the middle. He'll get the start for game 2. Brewers gave up a game in the standings yesterday for the first time since July 30th. 18 days on a major league schedule without surrendering a single game.
It's absurd.
Coming to play 8 games up with 39 left. Brewers haven't given up a game to the Cubs since the last time they met, last game of the series in Milwaukee.
And what you love is most of the guys in the clubhouse couldn't even name what game it is and what streaks they've been on. They don't know any of that stuff. That's a good place to be. They're playing some unconscious baseball.
Contreras on the ground to third. That's Matt Shaw. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Cade Horton. We are off and running on a full day of baseball.
Had a jersey.
I've never seen him in his jersey, but he's got it on today. Year number 2 as the Cubs skipper. Potawatomi Casino Hotel batting order start. Against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But they have fallen on hard times, playing 500 ball over the last 2 months. Freddie Peralta, a 14-game winner this year in the National League, a 2.90 earned run average. He has been the Brewers' ace. He has pitched like the Brewers' ace. And he gets the ball in the first game of this 5-game series.
Yeah, leading all of baseball in those 14 wins. I mean, he's just been the rock for the Brewers the last 3 seasons, making every start.
Checks in 8th in ERA, starting play today. He is 10th in the National League in strikeouts, Peralta. And maybe the most important stat, he's top 5 in the National League in opponents' batting average. Does not give up much contact. The story is always with Peralta about how efficient he can be. And if he has a high pitch count through 4 or 5 innings, it'll be a short day on a day when the Brewers desperately need some length out of their starting pitching.
Well, he was efficient last time out, just 89 pitches in 6 innings against the Pittsburgh Pirates, beating Paul Skeens. Gave up just 3 hits, no runs, only 1 walk, and 7 punch-outs.
Leads the National League in the majors in victories. Max Fried and Garrett Crochet in the AL East. In the air to left field. Yelich is out there today. Drifting back, he puts it away. That ball had a little carry to it. And there's out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Brewers' landmark credit union defense. Christian Yelich, we just saw him in left. Blake Perkins and
good to see Danny Jansen back there. First game of a doubleheader. You'll see Contreras most likely catching game 2, which had Patrick on the mound. Kyle Tucker fights off the first pitch, a foul ball. Tim mentioned it in our pregame show, but part of the Cubs' struggles is all of the guys who were carrying this team offensively and carrying the team to the tune of one of the best offenses in the big leagues in the first half are not hitting right now. That includes Tucker and Suzuki and Pete Crow Armstrong. Those were the big bats in the first half.
Yeah, second half it really comes down to those guys. You could throw Michael Busch in there too. Those 4 guys and the extra base hits. Just not getting those extra base hits like they were in the first half.
Little topper, it's going to stay fair. Vaughn takes it to the bag, and there is out number 2. Pre-All-Star break, post-All break. All-Star break is the line in the sand for Craig Counsell's club. You see what they were doing before the Midsummer Classic, second in the majors in runs per game, but post-All-Star break they are second to last in the major leagues. There's been a problem.
And the reason that hurts so much is what's happened with the starters and the relievers for the Cubs. They've given up a lot of runs, especially the bullpen. Since then, they've given up 73 home runs in the second half. That's third most in baseball.
Suzuki, the numbers still show a great year with 27 homers and 86 RBIs. That's a monster season. Unexpected season for Suzuki, but he hasn't done much since the All-Star break. Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs in Milwaukee in late July, winning the first 2 games of that series. Cubs did break out for 10 runs in the final game, but held to just 4 and 3 runs respectively in the first 2. It's interesting, though, when the Cubs won that game July 30th, the Brewers had a 1-game lead in the division. And here we are on August 18th, and they're up 8. Crazy how hot the Brewers have been. Strings up Suzuki, and it's 3-2.
Missed big with that fastball, but just before that, the slider from Peralta down and away. That's been a good pitch. Last time out, he threw the highest slider percentage in almost a year, a little over a year.
Line shot through for a base hit. Suzuki was ready for that one. Four-seam fastball down the middle. And the Cubs have the first hit of the game.
Yeah, it goes back to the fastball, threw one under the chin, this one down and away, and then Suzuki just, well, he hit it, maybe he did get it well. It kind of knuckles up the middle. Didn't run out of bat at all. Nothing Ortiz could do. Man on first, 2 outs.
In the stretch now for Pete Crow Armstrong. Armstrong out in front of an off-speed pitch. Peralta got him to chase, and he is out, and that is the inning. Good changeup for Peralta. Brooklyn Dodgers in 1953. New York Giants. Then the Los Angeles Dodgers of 13, 17, and 22. Historically good in a 34-game window. The Brewers at 29 and 5. Something special.
Well, just since this century, I mean, they're going up against the Dodgers, big old payroll. I feel like the Brewers are like, how are they fitting into this kind of list? They're just playing good baseball, the way baseball was supposed to be played.
Amen. Here's Yelich. Yelich heard some boos when he got introduced. That's got to be a good feeling for him. You get booed on the road, that means they know you. Yelich has had some great moments here in this ballpark. And he's having a big year this year. 25 homers, 86 driven in, and a ringer. Horton sharp early. Yelich has some questions for Stu Shearwater. That was on the edge at 97. And one away here in the second inning, second strikeout.
Well, that's something that Cade Horton's going to do. He's going to run that fastball up there, and you mix that with some good command. Look how it kind of tails away a little bit. That's why Yelich was hesitant to swing. But we're going to see a lot of off-speed once he is done establishing that four-seam fastball. He mixes in the sweeper, the changeup, and the curveball. Those three off-speed pitches, batters hitting under 200.
Andrew Vaughn comes in with 14 homers. That's the arsenal of Horton. He's got electric stuff. He's been a big hit for the Cubs here. Age 23. And they found something. Been their top prospect. Has settled in as a big league pitcher. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts. Craig Counsell and Tommy Hotovy have no problem sending him out there for game 1 of this doubleheader and matching up against Freddie Peralta. They like him a lot. Would be interesting if the Cubs do get to the postseason, who would be their game 1 starter. We've got Matthew Boyd having a great year, and he was excellent in the postseason for Cleveland last year. Colin Ray's been good. Imanaga's been good. Horton is a sleeper, though. Vaughn turns it around, a base hit. The guy just keeps on hitting. Andrew Vaughn. You can hear the Brewers fans in the crowd here at Wrigley cheering for Vaughn. First hit of the game for Milwaukee, a 1-out single.
Yeah, he was cheering on a sweeper up in the zone. Gets it. Very similar to Suzuki's rocket single up the middle. Not a lot of times has Horton given up a sweeper hit.
Now to bring up Blake Perkins. Perkins, the switch hitter. Just 1 for 4 in Cincinnati. Was on the bereavement list and has returned. Showing bunt. Takes a strike. Swing and a miss. Horton on the attack. Getting ahead of hitters. A lot of pitchers' counts early in this game.
Well, that's the curveball from Horton. Lefties are going to see it a lot more so than the sweeper. Probably not the exact spot that he wanted up and in, but after a couple of fastballs, I mean, Perkins unable to figure out what to do with that one.
First ball swinging. Sal Frelick into right field, a base hit. Sal not wasting any time with Horton on the attack, aggressive in the strike zone, and Frelick dropped down into that number 7 spot today. Delivers a 2-out single, first and second. Scoring chance for the Brewers here. Good swing by Frelick.
Ambush, first pitch fastball. This is what you do. You look in the dugout and you're like, what's this guy doing? And he's throwing pretty much first pitch heater to everybody. So if it's around there, around the zone, why not? Take a hack at it.
Danny Jansen now, big spot early. Jansen's first run at Wrigley Field as a Brewer. It's always a special rivalry between these two teams. Jansen's first matchup against the Cubs came to the Brewers in a trade deadline deal from Tampa Bay. That was right after the Brewers last played the Cubs. Old school, no batting gloves. Got some power, Jansen. 2 on, 2 men out. Here's the 1-1. Jansen tied up. Power sinker from Horton.
Well, we're already seeing a very firm fastball, and the thing talking about his fastball is the spin rate. Pretty elite spin rate on it. And he can also top out at 99 miles an hour, and if you're putting that kind of command, he's going in and out, up and down with it so far already in the early goings.
1-2 the count. Jansen takes one. Tried to get him on that sweeping curveball. Cubs have the best rotation ERA in the majors since the All-Star break. While they're not hitting, they're pitching well, and Horton has been the leader of that pack. Ooh, that was close to hitting Jansen. Count goes full now. That'll give both runners a head start. Vaughn needs it. Slow runner at second. Frelick very fast at first base. 3-2, 2 outs. Scoring chance early for Milwaukee. Runners go. Jansen rips one into left field. Over and there to make the play is Casey. Maybe on another day, but Jansen hits a bullet for an out deep into the left center field.
rotation. 18 starts, 3 wins for him, a .352 earned run average. Last started with the team July 5th against Miami, and then was an option for the return of Brandon Woodruff, guys. So he's back and ready to go. Isaac Collins has also been reinstated from the paternity list. He's not in the lineup today, as you guys said earlier, dealing with a stiff back. He and his wife Isabella welcomed in their baby boy, Carter Michael, born over the weekend, back home in Denver. So Isaac is back here, activated, dealing with some back stiffness, but he's undergone treatment. He was out on the field running. He's been hitting in the cage, so he is hopefully ready to go for game 2. And Tyler Black option back to AAA.
Good stuff, Sophia. Thank you for that. As Peralta gets a first pitch out off the bat of Carson Kelly. Now Oh, and Casey made that terrific running catch in the gap. That's here with one away. That's good news for the Brewers to get Collins back. There aren't many things I can relate to a big leaguer, but sleeping on a chair for the birth of your child is one of them. And I can understand why there's some back issues that need to be worked out.
I mean, you get back issues just going from hotel to hotel to hotel, and now you're mixing in 3 days, sleeping in a hospital. Yep, totally relatable.
Congratulations to Isaac and Isabella, though. What a great moment in their lives, and he's the National League Rookie of the Month. He's got a chance to win Rookie of the Year. He's got a baby. He's a dad for the first time. I mean, what a time in Isaac Collins' life right now. Couldn't happen to a better guy. That one just missed. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Peralta is on the attack early, and he is letting it eat early as well. The velocity is good from the start today for Peralta. Consistently 95, 96 out of the gates. And a swing and a miss. Casey strikes out. The mighty Casey has struck out. Felt like I had to.
Hey, it was good. Wipeout changeup down. This is what he's going to throw a lot of to these lefties. And I know what you're thinking, 90-mile-an-hour changeup, but it's all about the movement. It's all about the arm speed, especially when you haven't faced somebody before. Oh, Casey, new to the big leagues, new to Freddie Peralta.
Nico Hoerner takes a strike. Cubs have been in ambush mode to start this game against Peralta. 5 of the first 7 batters that Peralta has faced have swung at the first pitch. Hoerner takes it. That's a good sign for Peralta. He likes those aggressive swings. That's really where that stat about his opponent batting average comes into play. When Peralta struggles, he typically walks hitters, gets into deep counts, and he doesn't give up many hits. That's a slow roller, going to stay fair. Vaughn is right there, and a quick 3-up, 3-down inning, 8 pitches for Freddie Peralta in the second. Umbrella. We got one here in the booth. Joey Ortiz leads off.
Not indoors.
No, it's outdoors.
Yeah.
This is how I get Boog Shambi's attention. He does not like that at all. He's very
That's the 10th
angry.
time you've tapped on the window.
Fly ball, little pop up to short, out number 1. This is also how I get Dom's attention.
I am not with him.
Matter of fact, last inning, it was a 9-pitch inning. Dom said it was 8, so that's what he gets.
And it'll keep you dry when it's raining. So it's a...
Oh, yeah. That too. Sophia may be able to use this down. She's down in the sun. Now what do I do with it? Here. Don't give it away. That's a cool umbrella. It's legit. Turang is swing and a miss. Second time around now against Cade Horton. Brewers had 2 on last inning. A line drive out by Jansen. Nice running catch by Owen Casey in left center. See if the Brewers can dial in on the 23-year-old Cade Horton. He leads the majors since the All-Star break in earned run average, 0.32. Fly ball to left, got some carry to it. Casey's back, looking up, and Turang goes deep again. The power surge of Bryce Turang, his 13th home run. And the Brewers strike first.
Turang, more like Turbang out to left field. Oppo Taco. And a 2-strike count. I feel like every Brewers batter has been in a 2-strike count from Cade Horton. Turang turns a 97-mile-an-hour fastball into a lead for the Brewers.
Durbin on the first pitch, pops it up behind the plate. That'll be in the seats. Tell you what, Tim, there was always power in Bryce Turang's swing as an amateur, signed out of high school. You're wondering if it was going to show up as a pro, and it has shown up in the big leagues.
Well, we see it on display during batting practice, right? But that just kind of hasn't been his game since he's been in the big leagues. More of a, I'm going to use all fields. I'm going to get on first. I'm going to get on second. But what a power surge. I think it's when the team is going well and you don't have to be the one that's playing a certain role. You can be a little riskier and look for a good pitch to hit. Now, that one was right down the middle, so you got to be feeling good when you launch a couple of mistakes.
He's so effortless and relaxed, and he just has this way about him, Turang. Durbin's the opposite of that. Durbin is tension, a lot of force in his game, and there's no right or wrong way. It's just the way you do it. Corey Hart was like that with the Brewers. He was very smooth and silky out there. And Turang just, he's got that oily nature to him. I call him maple syrup. He just looks like he's barely awake, and he is backspinning everything right now. Career best in home runs with 13. And he's given the Brewers a 1-0 lead. That long second inning at 20 pitches. You never know how those things affect the next inning. And now Durbin whistles one down the left field line. That's going to get into the ivy. Durbin on his way to second base. 2 sharply hit balls. And it's going to be a double for Durbin. Brewers have a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, that's 5 out of the last 7 batters to barrel up Cade Horton. This one here, double in left field. Saw that a lot, quite a bit in the Cincinnati series.
This may be an injury situation here. Craig Counsell coming out with the athletic trainer, and the way they are looking at the pitching hand of Horton might tell you that there's a blister issue or something. Looks like they're filing down a nail.
Maybe ripped part of a nail off.
That's so funny. This is happening right now. Tim and I were down talking to Chad Patrick before the game about this exact thing, you know, and you pitchers, probably more than any other athlete in any sport, have to make sure the manicure is in place because of that reason.
That's true.
Fingernails, and yeah, he's looking down.
I mean, maybe a blister, but has a lot to do with your grips and I mean, I've ripped a ton of nails, especially when it gets hot and muggy during the summer. I mean, all of a sudden, whatever reason, you get more movement on your pitches, and then you look down, you're like, why is my hand bleeding? You have no idea. I was teammates with R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer, and he had a tackle box with all the stuff that he would use to help keep his nails strong.
I remember R.A. Dickey and his kit, his DOP kit.
Clean the nails and then go catch some fish.
Here's Contreras, got a runner at second. Brewers lead 1-0. Contreras takes a strike. Well-placed fastball that time. Horton retired the Brewers in order in the first. That included Contreras on a ground out to end the inning. But he's given up 4 hits since. And back-to-back hits, a homer and a double, Turang and Durbin. And a big bouncer to short. Tough hop, played well by Horner. And he'll make the play to get Contreras. No Dansby Swanson in that lineup today in the first of the doubleheader. You'll likely see him in game 2. Durbin does advance to third. There are 2 outs.
That's a good base running by Durbin. You know, a lot of times, usually if it's at you or behind you, you're going to go. That one was maybe a little bit in front of Caleb Durbin, but he saw the high bounce and he knew he could get to third.
Yelich takes a ball. Runner at third. 2 away. We're in the third. Brewers would love to keep that pressure on the Cubs. Season series all tied at 4 apiece with 5 to play, and all of them coming this week. And then that's it against Chicago the rest of the way. Yelich had a good year with runners in scoring position. He's hitting over 300. His batting average about 40 points better with runners in scoring position this season. And he dials in on Horton and draws the walk. Moves the line. Yelich is aboard. First and third now with 2 outs. Here comes Andrew Vaughn.
We've been talking about the great baseball that the Brewers have been playing, and a lot of that has to do with making pitchers sit in a bad situation. You can tell Cade Horton was like, let me just make a pitch and maybe Yelich will roll over to third, or let me just make a pitch, maybe we'll pop it up to the infield, and next thing you know, he's standing on first. These Brewers players, they don't want to give away outs at any time.
Back-to-back 20-pitch innings for Horton. This is what the Brewers do so well. Deep counts, they just chip away. The woodpecker mentality that Pat Murphy talks about. Only Schwarber with more RBIs in this run than Andrew Vaughn when he got called up to the big leagues. The Let's Go Brewers chant raining down at Wrigley. And now another meeting at the mound. This time it's the pitching coach, Tommy Hotovy. A lot of attention on that mound right now. This is one of those days, day-night doubleheader. The team that can get into the opposition's bullpen first to make it a rough game on the pitching staff can set yourself up for game 2 as well.
Well, that 14-game winning streak, the franchise record the Brewers were on, just 3 starting pitchers on the opposing teams made it through 5 innings. You want to win a series, it comes down to game 1, get in the bullpen as quickly as possible, get the starter out. And the way this one's going, they have a chance to do that to Horton.
Here's Andrew Vaughn. 2-0 is the count. Runners at first and third. And Vaughn hit by a pitch. Durbin races home, but home plate umpire Stu Shearwater making the motion. Vaughn hit by a pitch. Durbin will have to go back to third. The bases are loaded here. even that right there gives you an idea how the Brewers think about every pitch and every at-bat in every game. Durbin's just dialed in.
Well, leave nothing to chance. See the ball get away, just run. It sends you back, that's fine.
This fingernail or blister issue that Horton is dealing with is going to have him out of this game. Worst case scenario for the Cubs, this guy's been their best starter since the All-Star break. And he will exit in the third inning with 2 outs. Brewers have the bases loaded. This is going to be an injury replacement situation. And the big lefty, the former Brewer, Drew Pomeranz, is on his way in. He'll get as much time as he needs to get loose. But a big moment in this game and in this doubleheader right now in the third inning. An injured pitcher for the Cubs, Horton, is out. And a pitching change in the third with the bases loaded. Right now with Pomeranz. Pomeranz had Tommy John surgery in 2021, had to go back into that elbow 2 years later, so that's why it's been a long road back. Just a 2-pitch pitcher these days, fastball, curveball. And he is going to be out there to try to give the Cubs some length. Big moment now. The Brewers have the bases loaded. Blake Perkins with a chance to add to this lead. And he takes a first pitch strike. Splits are pretty dramatic on the reverse for Perkins. As a right-handed batter, he's hitting just .220. I beg your pardon, as a right-handed batter, he's hitting .346. That's a bouncer to third. And close call. Out is the call. Brewers will certainly want to look at this. And no challenge. And the Cubs are going to get out of this inning. So they strand the bases loaded, but Bryce Terang launches another home run. He's hit 7 homers. Six homers in his first 105 games. He's had 7 in his last 14. He's found that home run stroke. Peralta pitching with a lead for the first time, facing Willie Castro, acquired from the Twins at the trade deadline. Castro switch hitting second baseman. He's a versatile player. He'll be followed by Matt Shaw, then the top of the order, Michael Busch. So far, just one Cubs hit. That was a ringing single by Suzuki. Gave it 2 strikes in the first inning and 2 outs. Peralta with a strikeout. He hasn't walked a batter. And he's had a good changeup going today. That's another one. Had a batter out in front. Fly ball to Yelich for out number 1. It's been a money pitch for Peralta. And for more on Freddie, we send it down to Sophia on this lovely game 1 of a doubleheader. Sophia.
Yes, great day to be on the mound for Freddie Peralta. And I was talking to Jose Quintana, who pitched yesterday for the Brewers, about just the relationship that those two have formed as the veterans on this staff. And he said, you know, as an opponent facing Freddie Peralta for a couple of seasons, he said obviously what stands out is just how charismatic he is, his personality, the joy that he brings to the field. He said he's one of the more extroverted guys in the league, seems to be friendly with everybody. But he said now as a teammate, he said he considers him to be so elite in terms of just what he brings on the mound, his competitiveness and his arsenal. And he said really the discipline that he has seen from Freddie Peralta, getting to work with him every day. And he loves sitting next to him. These two are pretty much inseparable during games that they're not pitching. And he said, we're like pitching during everyone else's games. He said, we are going through the sequences. We are talking about the pitching stuff, the lineups, how you want to navigate hitters. He said it feels like we're just pitching every game. So he's really enjoyed developing this relationship with Freddie Peralta and helping guide some of these young starters in the rotation.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sophia. Especially somebody like Quintana that's been around so long and 36 years old, got Peralta at 29, and think about all the stuff you wish you knew when you were younger, and he gets a chance to do that. And we see those guys joking around all the time. I mean, we were on the tarmac yesterday, and there was like an inside joke going around. They were almost crying, laughing. I mean, these guys, And we see him in the dugout every time Sophia's doing a hit. These guys are getting on camera. Yeah, you have to enjoy talking the game, right? And when you find a kindred spirit in that way, baseball just will never be boring because you have somebody you can share it with, talk the ins and outs of what's going on during the game.
The power of friendship, you might say. I always had Jose Quintana as a very stoic, professional Major League Baseball player. You know, you didn't get much reaction from him, and he's still like that on the mound. But I think he's really enjoying his time as a Brewer. Native of Colombia, one of the most accomplished players to ever come from Colombia. And he's been rejuvenated. Christian Yelich says the same about the youthfulness of the Brewers. As Bush, a little half-swing foul. Between innings, I mean, look at Q out there. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have some fun, all smiles. He's on a one-year deal, Jose Quintana. There is an option for next year. It is a mutual option, though, so both parties will have to work that out for Quintana to continue as a Brewer next year. But he's been a huge hit, not for what he's just for what he's doing between the lines, but all the things Sophia just referenced in between starts.
Well, when you talk to Chris Hook, he's one of those guys that he loves to talk about. Loves to talk about Quintana and his professionalism and how he does the meetings and how particular he is, and that he knows himself. He knows what kind of pitcher he is. He knows what works and what he's trying to accomplish. And, you know, think about Chris Hook and all the young guys he's worked with. Now he has like a very solid older veteran that has seen a lot of success.
Michael Bush in a 2-2 count. Peralta with 2 outs, and Bush able to lay off. Second time around for the Cubs now. Bush flew out to left his first time up. Tucker waits to hit next. Peralta has retired 6 in a row. And a swing and a miss. It's been the off-speed today for Peralta. Change-ups and curveballs. Picks up his 3rd K. He's fourth inning. Drew Pomeranz, who came in for the injured Cade Horton, now starts a clean inning. He got out of a bases loaded jam with 2 outs last inning. Got Blake Perkins to ground out to end it. Frelick had a base hit on the first pitch he saw last time up. Almost got a foul ball up here.
Almost knocked your gummy bears off the windowsill.
I've never gotten a foul ball here at Wrigley.
That was pretty close.
I was ready for it. Could have taken out a few of the spider webs that are up here, hanging from the window, and the nails that are coming out of the desk. Nice and cozy. The cockpit.
So much room for activities up here.
Man.
Not really.
Great place to spend a doubleheader. Fly ball into center. Pete Crow Armstrong is there to make the play. Frelick is retired. Split doubleheader, meaning the next game won't start until 7 p.m. tonight. We'll hit the air at 6:30. The regularly scheduled game. This is a makeup game from mid-June. That's really when the Brewers' streak started. That win against the Cubs on June 19th. Everything has turned around since. An incredible 2 months of baseball.
I remember right when the Brewers won that last game and they're shaking hands and Murph was just fired up. Manager Pat Murphy was just screaming, and it was awesome. Everybody was fired up.
He looked like a manager that had just lost a game. Brewers did win that game, but Murphy's face and words, and I hope you don't read lips, but he was hot.
I mean, but think about what that does for the team. I mean, he was expressing how everybody on that field felt.
Yes.
And you don't get that a lot from a manager unless you're clinching something. But for him to express how those guys felt, you could tell they were coming through the line slapping hands, and everybody was fired up. You think they were getting ready to go play a game.
And then on the flight to Minnesota after that game, that was such a galvanizing topic. Murphy was still mad on the plane, and all the players coming by. Get over it, Murph. Get over it. We won the game, Murph. Man, he was so upset. First of all, there was a lot of calls that he felt went against the Brewers that day. And then the fact that the Cubs refused to play a doubleheader that day. If you remember the situation, too, the Cardinals were also in Chicago playing the White Sox, and they were also rained out on the Wednesday, and then they did play a doubleheader on the South Side. And Murph, as great of a relationship he has with Craig Counsell, he was letting him have it. That one's in the air, a pop-up. It's going to be tight back there, not a lot of room, and Kelly puts it away. Fighting the sun and the wind, and he makes a catch to retire Danny Jansen. 2 outs in the fourth. We go down to Sophia.
Yeah, BA, and Murph has not let that go, because that came up with some of the Chicago writers that came over to Murph's pregame session today, and he was quick to remind them, oh yeah, wasn't that the day that the White Sox went and played the doubleheader against the Cardinals, and we are back here playing today. And he also pointed out, look, this is obviously a tough stretch for the Brewers. This was a 4-game series as scheduled, so now it's 5 games in 4 days, and also the Brewers coming in from a road trip, right? Coming in from Cincinnati. They were fortunate they didn't have any weather delays. Coming in today, playing a split doubleheader on day one of this series, and the Cubs finishing their weekend series here at home, so maybe another advantage there.
Yeah, good stuff, Sophia, you're right. Fly ball to right, that ends the inning. Ortiz, little soft liner to end it. Tucker. From the Cubs fans. Same thing happened yesterday. He didn't run one out, and they let him have it against the Pirates. Not as bad today, but he is in the crosshairs of Cubs fans right now.
I mean, not sure it would have mattered a ton. I mean, even though there was a small bobble by Vaughn, he able to corral it real quick, get it to Peralta.
Here is Suzuki celebrating a birthday today. Taylor Rogers, former Brewer, in the Cubs bullpen. Cade Horton, an early exit with a finger injury. Waiting word from the Cubs on exactly what that was. Looked like blister or fingernail. Athletic trainer went out with a fingernail file at one point, trying to clean that area up, but could not take it out of the game last inning. Pomeranz came on. And now the Cubs are going to have to make this a bullpen game.
On a doubleheader day, too. Hopefully this pays off for the Brewers.
Yeah, Brewers want to keep tapping into that. Make them throw as many pitchers as they can today.
I mentioned it earlier in the game, but of the last 16 games, the opposing starter only 4 times has gone 5 innings.
That is quite a stat. That gives you an idea of how challenging the Brewers lineup is to a pitching staff, especially a starting pitcher, multiple times through. Suzuki in a 3-2 count, one away in the 4th. And Peralta missed with it. Suzuki on twice. Suzuki singled on a fastball his last time up. This time Peralta misses with a breaking ball. It's the first walk allowed. Suzuki's been the only base runner against Peralta today. One out, runner at first for Pete Crow Armstrong. Peralta got him on a first pitch changeup last time up. Crow Armstrong, a very aggressive hitter. Thus the low on base percentage, even though he's had a monster year with 27 homers and 79 RBIs. Ate him up with a fastball, and it's 1-1. Crow Armstrong is now 5 for 9 in his career against Peralta. He's had good success against the Brewers ace. Includes a home run. Most of those are early count swings, as is the case with Crow Armstrong against any pitcher.
His ability to hit the ball below the zone.
3-1 the count. Crow Armstrong showing good patience here. That was a good changeup. That was the pitch that got PCA to pop up his last time up. He's very fast. Tough guy to double up. 3-1, and that's ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Cubs go patient suddenly. Remember all the early swings in the first 2 innings. And now back-to-back walks. Chris Hook is on his way to the mound.
Well, the thing about Freddie Peralta, the walks, the pitch count, if Freddie walks 3 or more in a game, the Brewers are 5-5. And then if you have 1 or fewer walks for Freddie, 9-1. So right now he's got 2 walks. He's on that threshold of, hey, the pitch count is still good. We still get out of this thing, but if it continues, could be disastrous.
Chris Hook to the mound gives us a chance to hear a word from Potawatomi Casino Hotel. One of the best pitching coaches in the game. And the results have shown just that. Maybe he spotted something mechanically. If nothing else, good chance to get Peralta a breather here. It is a warm, humid day. Big spot here, Carson Kelly. He'll be ready for the first pitch. First and second, one out, and he swings at the first pitch, as he did last at-bat. This one he fouls away. Kelly popped out into foul grounds in the second inning. He is a prime double play candidate. The Brewers are set up to turn two and get Peralta out of this inning.
Well, most of the misses for Peralta in this inning have been arm side, meaning I think Hook probably told him you need to keep your direction going towards home plate, because once you start bailing out towards first base side too early, that's where you leave it arm side. And you can tell he's in between. He's in between right now on his rhythm and his release point.
Some cleansing breaths out there. Try to get himself back on track. Works from the extreme third base side of the rubber these days. And that one's in there. Generous call. But if you're Kelly, a swing at that pitch probably going to result in a ground ball.
Well, he did right by not swinging. But at the same time, being the catcher, you don't want to make too much of a fuss about it, because in a few moments you will be the one behind home plate wanting that exact pitch.
2-2 the count. 2 men are aboard here with one away. Brewers lead 1-0. Kelly takes a breaking ball. Count is full now. This will be interesting to see if Craig Counsell has the runners in motion. Cubs fans encouraging their catcher. Peralta deals. Kelly takes a ball. Bases loaded on 3 consecutive walks. That was the firmest fastball that Peralta has thrown today at 98, but he missed with it. And now the Cubs knocking at the door. Here's Owen Casey.
Well, he's not showing any signs of what pitch he can go to that he knows he can throw a strike with. He's been struggling with the entire arsenal at the moment.
Casey playing in just his 3rd major league game. Just turned 23 last month. He's already made a nice running catch today. Big spot in the game right now. We're in the 4th. Bases loaded, 1 out. Swing and a miss. Changeup from Peralta had him way out in front. Changeup's been good today.
That may prove to be a gift. I mean, right, if you're hitting right now after 3 straight walks, I'm looking for right down the middle or nothing, and I'm going to err on the side of nothing.
Back to it. Another swing and miss. And Peralta has the rookie in a 1-2 count. 3 straight walks after Tucker's groundout started the inning. 1-2. Here he comes. Couldn't get him to fight on the fastball. Well placed though. 2-2. Been a good hitter at the AAA level this year, Casey. 289 batting average, 22 homers at AAA Iowa this year. Had an OPS in AAA of 955. This guy's a hitter. It's only his 3rd game in the big league zone. See what Peralta has in mind. 2-2. Full count. Amping up on the fastball again. He misses with it. 3-2, 1 out. And he struck him out. A changeup from Peralta. The guts to throw that pitch. A key strikeout for Freddie Peralta. I mean, you got to have some serious nerve to throw a changeup in that situation, Dylan.
I mean, he got a lot of horizontal movement, but I think this is going to be a learning moment for Casey. I think he's going to go back and look at it, and there's going to be some conversation around the situation and what you're going to see. I think the at-bat would have been a lot shorter, too, if Peralta had the command of the curveball that he had in the first 3 innings. You would have saw that probably after 2 strikes, but I don't know if he's got a good feel for it right now.
Here's Nico Horner, first pitch in there. 99 with the fastball from Peralta. Huge strikeout. One more piece to the puzzle here. Horner, a contact hitter. Pulls it foul, and it's 0-2. Cubs fans have been agitated with their team since the All-Star break. They're in the playoff picture, in the wild card picture. Still have a very good record of 70-53, but the success of the Brewers has them angry here. Peralta hoping to strand the bases loaded to hear from him. Way outside, Jansen, a good play to keep it off the screen. Horner's been one of the few hot hitters for the Cubs since the All-Star break. He's actually been on a tear, been their best hitter since the break, in a lineup full of struggling hitters. He's a good hitter with the bases loaded as well, Horner. 2-strike pitch, Horner in the air, right field. Frelick is right there. And Freddie Peralta on his 30th pitch of the inning strands the bases loaded. New pitcher is the former Brewer, Taylor Rogers. Just saw his twin brother, Tyler, with the New York Mets on the last homestand. Rogers, former Padres closer, pitched with his twin brother with the Giants a season ago, and an acquisition by the Cubs. Both of the Rogers twins got traded at the deadline.
It's a lot of jerseys the family's got to go through, keep up with. Yeah, but Taylor Rogers, basically two-pitch pitcher, flip a coin, 50-50, sinker or sweeper.
How about Terang up there near the top in homers this month as he bounces out. First out of the 5th inning. Well, we have had some drama already. Brewers did get a run on that Terang homer and then loaded the bases after that. Injured pitcher Cade Horton entered Drew Pomeranz, who retired Perkins with the bases loaded. Freddie Peralta has to endure a 30-pitch inning, 3 consecutive walks, and then strikes out Casey, the rookie, getting Horner to fly out to right to strand the bases loaded for the Cubs. Durbin hit a ringing double down the left field line in the 3rd. He sends that one deep into left. Durbin's going to watch it fly. Tape measure job by Caleb Durbin. 2-0 Brewers. Durbin's 7th of the year.
An absolute blast from Caleb Durbin. 1-1 sinker, 105 off the bat, 419 happy feet. And boy, did he know it. He watched it, took a moment, and said his goodbyes.
Now Contreras pulls that one foul. I mean, how about a kid from Chicago homering at Wrigley Field? It's his 2nd homer in this ballpark this year of the 7 he has hit. A thrill ride around the bases. That was a no-doubter.
You know, you talk about swings earlier with Terang being so nice and smooth, and you got Durbin, who's just so compact, just packs a punch.
Contreras with a couple of groundouts today. And that's a called strike 3. Upper corner with a sinker. And there is out number 2. Well, this powerful swing by Caleb Durbin. He's not very tall, but he is strong, and he packs a punch. He knew that one. He watched it. Bat flip was subtle but effective. And around he goes. Yelich walked his last time up after a strikeout his first trip. You know, when you're managing a game, especially in this game with Craig Counsell losing a starting pitcher due to injury, you're starting to put your relievers in certain lanes and windows of a batting order. And you know there are landmines around the 3-batter minimum rule. So you bring Rogers in mostly to face Terang and Yelich, but he's also got to deal with Durbin and Contreras in that window. And it is Durbin who comes up to bite Counsell and the Brewers, or the Cubs, in that swing.
Yeah, Durbin got him, but then you could tell Contreras was not picking the baseball up from Rogers at all.
And a called strike 3. Rogers. Back-to-back strikeouts of Contreras and Yelich. But Caleb Durbin, the Short Kings, are getting it done today. 30-pitch inning. 3 consecutive walks with 1 out in that 4th inning, but then was able to get Casey and Horner to end the frame. Casey's was the big at-bat. He went out of the strike zone to chase, and chase ball 4, struck out. Luke Little, who's anything but, is loosening in the Chicago bullpen. Council is in a bullpen game right now. It's got a spring training rhythm to it as far as a pitcher an inning after a starter had to be removed from the game, Cade Horton, in the 3rd. Horton goes 2 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, the Terang homer, a walk and 3 Ks. Pomeranz an inning and a 1/3, zeros across the rest. Taylor Rogers just went an inning, giving up the home run to Durbin, but had 2 strikeouts.
I mean, this is where you really earn it all, right? I mean, if your starter goes out and gives you 6 or 7 and the game's in tow and you know exactly what relievers you're going to go to, but you get a bump in the road, your starter's out early, then you got to start mixing and matching best you can with the relievers that you have. And with the game being close, you're probably going to use more of your high leverage guys to keep it close.
Brewers sat all their primary relievers yesterday, their A-listers. Endured a loss in Cincinnati, snapping a 14-game win streak. So they're loaded for bear here. Both managers, knowing this doubleheader is coming, you can see each manager in each organization start to map out their rotation in preparation for this doubleheader today in this 5-game series. There's a called strike 3. Castro is rung up. And Freddie Peralta with his 5th strikeout. That's how he starts the 5th inning.
It's the 4th strikeout on the day looking up. I wonder if it's kind of been tough to see for the most part, especially for lefties. 96 at the bottom of the zone for Freddie. That's his 5th strikeout on the day. Another full count, though. Go back to last inning. There was a 16-pitch stretch where he threw 12 balls with those 3 walks.
He's been in 8 3-ball counts. But the first time through the batting order, only 2 3-ball counts. He was efficient. Cubs had just the 1 hit. Cubs went 1 for 9. First time through. Durbin boots it, recovers, and makes the play to get Shaw. Durbin has turned himself into an above-average third baseman. And it was not that way. He had a play yesterday on a backhand that just popped up.
A little bit similar to this one. This one rolls up his glove and he catches it out of the air and throws out Shaw. And yesterday it was rolled up the side of the arm, pops up in the air, and he looked up and it was coming right back down to him.
It's almost like the baseball is popping into the throwing area where he was going to go with it anyway. So
in the window.
It's in the window.
It was in the window.
Peralta could use a quick inning after the 30-pitch inning in the 4th. Knowing that, Michael Busch takes the first 2. Second time through the batting order, Peralta got into 6 3-ball counts, including 3 walks. Now it's the third time around against the Brewers ace.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, 6 of his first 10 outs came on 3 pitches or fewer.
At one point, had retired 8 straight before the 3 walks last inning. Pop up into foul territory, and that one's going to end up in the seats. You got to stay with the pop-ups here at Wrigley always. The wind is always a factor, especially when they are high enough to get above the grandstand. It's not a big wind today. It's starting to increase a little bit, blowing out to left field. More of a right field foul pole to left field foul pole kind of wind. Crosswind.
That Brewers flag on top.
That's how they put the division standings right there. Phillies, Brewers, Dodgers are the National League leaders in their respective divisions. 2-2. In there for a called strike 3. 98 with a gas. And Peralta makes it a quick inning. Picks up 2 more strikeouts. Cubs go. Reliever an inning. Pomeranz did get the 4 outs. Taylor Rogers giving up a run in his inning, and now Little.
Just his second game back in the big leagues in 2025.
Andrew Vaughn in the air to left. Didn't quite click it. And over to make the play is Casey for the first out.
And all 3 of these relievers for the Cubs, all 3 lefties, all 3 basically 2-pitch pitchers. As Little features a upper 90s fastball and a sweeper.
Was just promoted recently from Iowa. Cubs have had some issues with their bullpen. It was a strength of the Cubs, even going into the All-Star break. I talked to Craig Counsell about that, and I said it's funny because, you know, the narrative was the Cubs needed to go get a third baseman. Eugenio Suarez, of course, was the big name that Cubs fans wanted to see here. But in the meantime, Matt Shaw's had a great year, and he's played an excellent third base. So there wasn't a whole lot of talk about that after the fact, but also the bullpen was something that the Cubs felt like they were solid on as Perkins grounds one to second base for Castro. And there is out number 2. And then as soon as the trade deadline passed and they really didn't do a lot in their pen, bullpen started to falter a little bit. You never know in this game.
Yeah, that's the nightmare, right? You've missed your window to try to go and get guys. You just hope you have enough depth in AAA and guys that are ready and fresh for when they're called upon.
Sal Frelick back in that number 7 spot with 2 outs. There's Jed Hoyer, just signed to a long-term extension to continue as the head of baseball operations here.
He was on the field in front of the Cubs dugout for several hours before the game, standing right there and having multiple conversations with people.
Held a press conference before the game in the dugout with the local media. Again, the Cubs are 70-53. They still have one of the better records in baseball. Right now they're a playoff team, but they're 8 back in the division to the Brewers with a much bigger payroll and expectations. Frelick draws the walk with 2 away, letting a lefty go by, and now Luke Little will have to face Danny Jansen. Jansen almost had a big moment in the second with 2 on. He hit a rocket into left center. Owen Casey ran it down for the out. That was with 2 outs. Brewers stranded 2 in the second, then left the bases loaded in the third. But a couple of solo home runs has Milwaukee in front. Meanwhile, Peralta's only given up 1 hit. 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for Freddie Peralta. It's been a while since Jansen's last homer. Has not homered as a Brewer. Last home run came against Baltimore as a member of the Rays back on July 20th. Nearly a month. He's got some pop in his bat, though. 73 games with the Rays. He hit 11 homers this year. Brewers felt like they could upgrade with Jansen over Eric Haas as the backup catcher. And he draws the walk. So Little, after retiring the first 2 back-to-back walks here in the 6th inning. And the door is open for the Brewers with 2 outs. And Tommy Hotovy on his way back out to the mound.
Back-to-back 4-pitch walks for Little. The last one to Frelick could have been called a strike, but it was Clankers McGee for Carson Kelly. Kind of got crossed up a little bit. Frelick walks and now can't find the zone against Jansen, and suddenly a quick inning turns into a couple guys on. Brewers have a chance to push a run across.
It's one thing the Brewers have done all year long. Take advantage of mistakes by the opponent. In this case, it's an opposing pitcher who was unable to finish off what started as a very clean inning. 2 on, 2 out. Here is Ortiz. Flew out to right his last time up. Had a pop up to short his first time. This is where Ortiz has been thriving here lately. He's had a huge month of August, especially with runners in scoring position.
Well, you could say the whole team's had a big August, but for Ortiz and runners in scoring position, 500, 9 for 18.
In there for a strike.
Couple of doubles, 11 RBIs.
Offense is a bonus with Ortiz. The kind of defense he plays. He's a game changer at shortstop. Trying to play run producer here. 2 on, 2 outs, and Little with an inside move. Frelick was dancing at second base. Not only are they not holding Frelick on, but Matt Shaw, the Cubs third baseman, is very deep over at third. He's got Little's attention, though, which is what he wants. And now timeout is asked for. No, pitch timer violation. I tell you, these are the little things that drive opposing managers crazy. Frelick just dancing out at second base, distracting Little. Hang a ball now. And now it's 2-1. And Ortiz fouls it off.
Well, Frelick he was almost halfway to third before Little stepped off earlier, and then he just kept adding. And you're taught to do that.
2-2 pitch. Ortiz, Little tapper. That is going to stay fair. Throw to first is up the line. It gets away. Here comes Frelick. He's in. Jansen around third will be held. The Brewers lead 3-0 on a swinging bunt by Ortiz. The power of putting the ball in play.
And Ortiz may not even have known that ball was going to be fair or foul, but he took off sprinting. You can see it now where he wanted to hit it. It was enough for him to be able to get after it and go to first. Little trying to make something out of nothing. Hits Ortiz, deflects off into right by the tarp. I mean, this is a tough play for anybody, but especially a left-handed pitcher.
That'll be a single, an infield single, an RBI, then an error that allows Jansen and Frelick to advance a base. I'm not sure why there's no RBI there. But single, no RBI. And here is Bryce Terang, second and third.
Well, if Little holds onto the ball right there and doesn't throw it, it's going to be stayed bases loaded.
Yeah, good point. Boy, opportunity to break this game open right now. 3-0 Brewers. Peralta pitching well. Terang with a home run already. There's a strike.
That play was very similar to the Andrew Abbott play in Cincinnati yesterday. There was a little bit more time for Abbott. The little shuffle pass, it worked for him.
Ooh, close pitch. Terang got a break. Little's body language not good right now. He wanted that pitch.
I mean, there's been 3 or 4 that have been squeezed. The first pitch to Ortiz, that entire baseball, I think, was in the strike zone.
3-2 to Terang. Bryce has been on this home run binge. 7 of his 13 homers coming in the last 14 games, all coming since August 3rd. Durbin due next. Little deals. Terang takes it called. Strike 3. That ends the inning. The Brewers strand 2, but they get one. Joey Ortiz just flicks one down the first base.
game planning against Peralta, you have to say, hey, last time out he threw a lot of sliders, could see it. Haven't seen it today, though.
Pivotal inning for him as Kyle Tucker leads off. First one into the net. Third time through, heart of the order, Tucker, Suzuki, and Pete Crow Armstrong. Peralta has 3 strikeouts in his last 5 outs recorded. He's retired 5 straight after he walked 3 in a row. Twice he has gotten Tucker on rollover groundouts to first base. On the pitch he just threw him, the changeup.
And what a big difference from last time we were here watching the Brewers pitch to Tucker. You couldn't throw it anywhere. He was going out of the zone and hitting extra base hits. Now today, Peralta going right after him.
Brewers get an unearned run on the top of this inning. They lead the majors in unearned runs on the error by the pitcher Little.
And they were talking about the shuffle pass right there.
There's another rollover ground ball, this time Terang, the Platinum Glove Award winner, makes the play. Tucker's starting to hear it from Cubs fans. That is a carbon copy of the previous 2 at-bats. Change-up, rollover, ground out.
Well, don't do the hitters any favors. If it's working, just keep doing it. You try to reinvent your game plan, you may be playing right into the batter's wheelhouse.
Peralta has not retired Suzuki today. Clean single in the first. And then he walked in the fourth. Both times he was left stranded. He was at third when Peralta stranded the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Just the 1 hit for the Cubs. Suzuki single in the first inning.
That's 6 straight off-speed pitches from Peralta. Yet to throw a fastball in this inning.
0-2 the count on the Cubs' number 3 hitter. In the air, right field. Frelick right there. 2 up, 2 down for Peralta.
Whatever he found after that 4th inning, in between him coming back out for the 5th, he's been really good.
15 pitches last inning after a 30-pitch 4th. He's only thrown 8 pitches here in the 6th, and he's got 2 outs. Crow Armstrong walked his last time up. You just knew he was going to be swinging. Hitters like Crow Armstrong who are aggressive, they want to make things happen. It's like a horse in the stable. After all the pitches he took in his last at-bat, he's ready to fire. 1-1. Comes out of his shoes on a high fastball, and it's 1-2 now.
Almost corkscrewed straight into the ground.
Now you got him in swing mode.
Well, his power is to center and right field. He likes that pull side. Not going to get cheated.
Peralta's had great success with a changeup all day. Let's see what he goes with here. 2-strike pitch. Crow Armstrong in the air, left center field. Perkins easing over with the glasses on. He's got it. And a 3-up, 3-down inning. Peralta features in left center. Durbin with his 7th home run. He's got a double and a homer here today. Leads off this 7th inning. Peralta through 6 scoreless. Little will continue on for the Cubs. Abner Uribe is preparing for the 7th. And the end of the line for Freddie Peralta, it looks like. Brewers have an 8-game lead in the division. You can afford to be careful with your starting pitchers. Excellent work by Freddie Peralta. Survived the 4th and then cruised to the finish line. Matter of fact, he retired 8 straight to finish up his day today.
Well, something that Freddie Peralta excels at is when the game speeds up, he slows it down. And that's really tough to do with pitch clock and, limiting the step-offs. But if he does it every inning, it doesn't work. He picked that inning. He knew he had to slow everything down, got out of it, and then hit cruise control. 11 quality start for Peralta this season.
Durbin takes a called strike 3. Something about Little's delivery. He's got the Brewers looking a little bit here. As Durbin strikes out. Our Aurora Healthcare game reset. Turang and Durbin with solo homers. Peralta, the story on the mound. And the Brewers lead 3-0 as we play in the 7th inning. Little got Turang and Durbin with backward Ks. Strikeouts looking. Contreras with 1 out.
I think it's tough to see. I think these lefties are coming in for a reason for the Cubs. Contreras last time up had his shades on. You clearly could tell he wasn't seeing it well. Left-handed batters having a hard time. You're starting to see the strikeouts looking go up on both sides. I think it's a tough point in the game to see something out of the hand from a pitcher, especially lefties.
Here's a 1-2. Contreras tied up. Little had it going last inning in the 6th, retired the first 2 batters, and then back-to-back walks. Ortiz had the infield hit, no RBI, an unearned run on the error. Contreras down, swinging. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Little. 2 outs in the 7th. Yelich coming up. Tops the Powerball home run leaderboard for the Brewers with 25. Hard to believe Jackson Chourio is on the injured list, and yet the Brewers have gone 14-1 while he's been on the IL. He's still second on the club at homers. Vaughn hit a few homers for the White Sox early, adding his totals from the Brewers at 14. Chourio is feeling well. They're just being extremely cautious. First time he's really had an injury like this, a hamstring injury. And they're taking a little extra time to get Chourio back 100%. I know he's anxious to get back on the active roster, and that will happen soon. But the Brewers are winning. They're getting good production, and you can afford to be a little more judicious with the rehab.
Those extra base hits, I mean, Brewers haven't missed a beat, but man, when he gets back, what a punch.
Yeah, need him. Does speak to the Brewers' depth, though, and this it's hard to quantify. It certainly wouldn't show up in a stat. It wouldn't be a measurable, but there's something to the culture that Pat Murphy and his coaching staff, and even up to the top with Matt Arnold, players who are in fill-in mode, role players, are delivering in a shocking way with the Brewers this year. You don't see that many role players perform. There's Matt Arnold, Matt Klentak, one of his trusty assistant GMs there with him. That's been the story for the Brewers. A lot of depth, everybody performing. Little strikes out the slot.
Calls the Milwaukee Brewers. By 10 a.m. tomorrow, they'll receive 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pit. This offer is courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well done, Tim Dillard. Say hello to all our friends there. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Call to the pen. Pat Murphy rolling out his A-listers now. Abner Uribe will get the ball for the 7th inning. Carson Kelly, Owen Casey, Nico Horner scheduled to hit.
This is the Uribe inning. The 7th inning or the 8th. He's got more holds than anyone in the big leagues. He's doing it on 2 pitches. That slider right there and triple-digit sinker. But Uribe got the day off yesterday for this particular moment. He's relieving Freddie Peralta, who one hit the Cubs through 6.
He was excellent. Had a little trouble in the 4th, but got through it. And then finished with a flurry, did Peralta. Only hit came in the 1st inning. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for Peralta. On just the 1 hit, no runs. ERA is going to drop. Uribe fires in there for a strike. Electric fastball. It's not just in the upper 90s. It's got serious movement. He is a nightmare for opposing hitters. He's been top shelf all year. Leads the majors in holds. Right off the label, out to Ortiz. Silky smooth shortstop makes a play for out number 1. Uribe just inflicts a painful at-bat for a lot of hitters. Sliders off the end of the bat or swings and misses. Sinkers off the label. He doesn't get a lot of swings and misses for a guy who throws as hard as he does. But man, does he get some weak contact. The kind that you feel in your bones, in your forearms, in your elbows, in your hands.
You almost don't want to make contact with it. You don't have to. Yeah, he's one of those guys you play catch with. As soon as you catch that sinker, you feel it like in the back of your elbow, on your arm. Man, he's been good.
Gavin Hollowell is the 27th man. You can add a player to the roster when you're in a doubleheader day. And that is the Cubs' choice. Brewers selection for the 27th man is Chad Patrick, who's going to start game 2 of this doubleheader. And you want to talk about depth in an organization, to be able to call on Chad Patrick to be your 27th man. This guy's been one of the best rookies going on the mound. He's been down in AAA.
Yeah, I mean, he was throwing the ball so well. I think everybody was kind of surprised when he went down to AAA and hadn't been back since. Just because he was throwing the ball so well. But starting pitching for the Brewers has not been a problem. They have been excellent. At every turn where they need somebody, they've had someone to step up.
Yeah, really the only knock against Chad Patrick is the fact that he has options left, meaning he can go to AAA, kind of a holding tank. But he's going to be a factor, and he's going to get the ball in game 2. Uribe deals and a line shot. Casey shows you some of that skill that got him to the big leagues, and that's his first major league hit. He is in the books. His family is here to see it. After a couple of strikeouts in his first 2 at-bats, he had gone 0 for his first 8, and he's got his first major league hit. That's a moment he'll never forget. And he does it against one of the game's best relievers in Abner Uribe.
Yeah, and it's not like it doesn't mean anything. Close ball game in the 7th. Going opposite field. Good job by Perkins cutting that off, by the way. And getting it into second base and holding that first major league hit to a single.
Casey and Horner were the two at the center of it all in the 4th. With the bases loaded, Peralta struck out Casey, got Horner to fly out to right. Now Uribe, who does get a lot of ground balls, would love to get one off the bat of Nico Horner right now.
Horner way out in front on that slider, clearly sitting fastball.
One out, runner at first. Here's an 0-2 from Uribe. Just doing all he can to stay alive.
That's a good job recognizing that he was sitting fastball, go back to the slider. Now he's a little bit on it. Now you have to make a decision. Can you locate a fastball down and in, or you go back maybe even wider with the slider?
On the ground, got a chance here. Terang, Ortiz, and not in time. Horner, very fast runner. Brewers made it close. Inning is extended. Horner will reach on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, Horner was almost running as he was hitting this ball to Bryce Terang. Quick turn, but Horner just quicker.
Yeah, credit to Casey, too, the rookie. He was busting it down the line to second base. Didn't allow Ortiz to come across and get off his A throw. I don't think it would have mattered anyway. 2 outs now. Here's Willie Castro. You remember the moment in Minnesota, the Jacob Mizorowski moment, when he buckled the hitter at the plate on a slider? That was this guy, Willie Castro. And if he never sees that highlight again, it'll be too soon for him, because it is everywhere.
Mizorowski going for the Brewers on Wednesday.
And Mizorowski Wednesday, Priester Thursday. That'll be a big moment for Quinn Priester as well. He's a Chicago area guy. It'll be his first start at Wrigley Field. He's pitched in a game here as a Pirate, but never a start. He'll have a lot of friends and family in the ballpark. Horner dancing at first. Uribe deals and a little chopper to third. Nice pick by Durbin. And that will retire the side. And Uribe, dominant as ever, gives up a single, but Cubs can do. On is out number 1. Koenig in the bullpen. Uribe and Koenig kind of flip-flopping in the setup role. That is because of the nature of the Cubs lineup with the 2 lefties at the top in Bush and Tucker. So Koenig will face each of those lefties next inning. Blake Perkins, 0 for 3 today. Back around on the left side. Much better right-handed hitter. This is a huge first game to get for the Brewers. They do have a big lead in the division. Even if they got swept by the Cubs, the lead would still be 3 games. But there is some urgency to keep going. Coming off a loss yesterday after winning 14 straight, putting together this incredible 34-game run. But this first game can go a long way to setting you up for the rest of the season as Perkins draws the walk. First and foremost, the season series with the Cubs is tied at 4. So you'd like to win that season series. You got to win this series to do that.
Well, it's going to dictate a lot on what you do in game 2. It's going to dictate a lot what you do the rest of the series, on how you use your bullpen. Any guys that need rest. I mean, we saw Frelick get a little banged up in the Cincy series, and how's that going to look for guys getting rest?
Sal Frelick takes a ball, send it down to Sophia.
Well, Pat Murphy talked about that earlier today, guys, and he's not going to celebrate anything at this point with what this team has done, even coming off of a historic 14-game winning streak and the how they flipped the script in the standings, right? 6.5 games back the last time they were here at Wrigley, now coming in with an 8-game lead, and he's still playing the Brewers as the underdog. He was talking about the Cubs lineup earlier today, and he said, look, they have all-stars, MVP candidates, they have veterans, they have Gold Glove winners, World Series champions. He's like, what don't they have, right, in terms of the lineup and the star power that they have? And he said the Cubs are definitely not the underdogs, trust me. And you can go back to the predictions, right? Nobody would have expected that the Brewers would be in this position or sustain this type of success and playing at this level. So, Pat Murphy's still leaning into, like, the Brewers. They've got a lot to prove and a lot to play for.
No question. Always keep that carrot out in front. And I like what Christian Yelich told Sophia the other day as well after the dramatic winning and his big game in Cincinnati with the euchre bat on Friday. He still said, we haven't accomplished anything yet. It's been a great regular season. We've had a lot of fun. They're one of the most entertaining teams in baseball. As Frelick draws the walk, back-to-back walks. I made a mention on social that the Brewers might be the team that breaks the era of the 3 true outcomes, because they're doing that, but they're also doing everything else. It's not just about homers and walks and strikeouts where the defense isn't involved.
Exactly, and it's some of the stuff that you don't measure. It's going against analytics a little bit, where we talk about speeding up the game. We saw Frelick at second base earlier, caused a pitch timer violation, ends up scoring on an error. Brewers have had so many, 80 unearned runs this year, first in all of baseball. It's all designed to put pressure on the pitcher to make him make a mistake, and that's when the hitters can capitalize. And a lot of times that has not been the case across baseball the last, 10, 15, 20 years of strikeouts are okay, swing for the fence. No, this team's getting their bunts, they're getting their sac flies, and they're letting pitchers sit around in their mess. We've seen back-to-back walks several times already in this game.
Look at all the traffic they've had today. Danny Jansen with 2 men aboard, 1 out. Gavin Hollowell deep in that Cubs bullpen. Counsell just trying to get to the finish line. I would imagine Hollowell would have the last 2 innings. Jansen can deliver a serious blow right here. 3-0 Brewers. And that one's inside, and it's ball 3.
You know, it's impressive with some of these at-bats where the Brewers have guys on base and I'm telling you, you're standing in the box with ducks on the pond, you want to swing the bat, and they are playing the patient card over and over and over again.
Take it all the way. Jansen takes ball 4. They are loaded. Saw that note. The 8th inning, for whatever reason, has been a trouble inning for the Cubs. That is a very uncomfortable Craig Counsell over there in the dugout. Managers have to make brutal decisions on days like this. You want to stay in the game, but you're also in a position where you can't tax your best relievers, and he's hoping Hollowell can get through it, and the Brewers are trying to turn that on its ear.
Well, this is something that Hollowell's not used to. This will be his 7th appearance in the big leagues, and he's used to striking everybody out. Right now, can't find the zone.
And it's all him. There's nobody up in the Cubs bullpen. Empty.
Crickets. That's usually those worst mound visits. It's like you see the bullpen out there, nobody's moving, man. This is yours.
2-0 the count. Ortiz taking all the way. Cubs fans with a sarcastic cheer. Bases loaded, 1 out. Over anxious Ortiz chases one. And now it's 2-2. Joey O does have that 1 grand slam in his career. Came earlier this year against the Mets at Citi Field. Nobody's had more at-bats in the majors with the bases loaded than Ortiz. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. Turang due next. There's some pressure pitch coming up here for Hollowell. These Cubs fans are going to let him have it if he doesn't get Ortiz.
And then he finally throws something around the plate. It's a foul ball. This could be a great situation, too, for Turang. The way his approach is and pretty much everything that Hollowell is throwing with the fastball is missing away. So, you know, if he's up there, he's going to want to see that ball away.
Ortiz shoots one right side. Gloved out by Castro. Not in time. An infield hit. It's an RBI. Bases are still loaded and the Brewers lead 4-0. You can call them lucky if you like. They do it every single game. Put the ball in play. And Ortiz has done it twice in this game.
That one barely left the infield. The other hit did not. These average Joes are getting it done once again.
Now Turang with a base hit into right field. Station to station they go. It is 5-0 Brewers. Bryce Turang wasting no time. Clean single to right to drive in a run. Second RBI of the day for Turang.
How many times have we seen a 7-pitch at bat and then Turang come up and he's hunting the first pitch? This one's a sweeper right down the middle. Ambush. Base hit, RBI. Frelick had to wait just to make sure Castro wasn't going to come down with that ball. 2 runs in.
And now it's Durbin. Craig Counsell was going to ride with Hollowell regardless. Bullpen is still empty. Hollowell's game to finish it up. And the Brewers leading 5-0. Still one out. Still bases loaded. Durbin can turn a very good day into a special day at Wrigley with a base hit here. He's got a double, a homer. A little cue shot. Castro to second. Out there. Not in time at first. It'll be another RBI for Durbin. Another ball in play, and the Brewers make it 6-0. It's the humble approach.
I mean, that's a good piece of just putting the ball in play, get behind 0-2. Even if you maybe lost a knuckle or two to get the ball to the right side, it's enough, though. Scores a run.
And here is Contreras. Watch this first pitch. First and third. Durbin goes. And a strike. Durbin's going to steal second base. And the throttle is down for the Brewers here. 6-0. We're in the 8th. Second and third with 2 outs. Hollowell deals. Contreras, that goes to the screen. And coming in to score is Ortiz. It is 7-0 Brewers. There is no sweeter sound for the Milwaukee Brewers than the boos from Cubs fans here at Wrigley.
Brewers have a way of just speeding the game up on everybody.
Runner at third. Contreras takes a ball. 3 straight walks, an infield hit, a single to right. 4 runs are in. And another walk. And here's Hollowell, 31 pitches into this outing. Still nobody warming in the Cubs bullpen. Hollowell, you feel for him a little bit. He's just trying to survive in the big leagues.
He's trying to catch his breath. It's tough to do that when you're throwing so many pitches and there's no breaks. And then you finally find a sweeper for a strike and the guy ambushes it for a base hit single. Then you think they're being overly aggressive, and suddenly you walk another guy. Even when you get ahead of somebody, they'll jam job and a run scores. I mean, then there's a stolen base behind you, and you don't feel like you can catch your breath in these moments. And I think ever since they put those, you can't disengage the rubber, and they put a limit on that, and the pitch clock, you've seen these big innings happen. The big inning starts when you can't slow it down.
9th hitter in the inning. Yelich. Yelich on the ground. Castro will make the play, and the inning is mercifully over for the Cubs. But the Brewers
guys have planned?
Opening up the feeding window. I think that's going to apply here. Yes, indeed. Doubleheader of baseball today. Split doubleheader. Brandon Lockridge comes in for Yelich to play left field. And Jared Koenig, who was fully ready. I guess the question is, why would you bring Koenig into a game when you have a 7-0 lead? I don't want to speak for Pat Murphy, but you're a reliever, Dilly, and he was fully hot and ready to come into this game. So you might as well get him in there as he strikes out Matt Shaw to start it.
I think that's exactly what it was. I mean, you get the big three down there, Uribe, Koenig, and McGill. You get one of those guys loose, run him out there, right? Otherwise, you're going to have him sit, and if you get to use him the next day, or maybe you don't get to use him, or maybe you have to get him warmed up twice in one day. You don't want to do that either.
Another thing I'll throw out here, as Justin Turner is going to pinch hit for Michael Busch. I don't know if this goes into the thinking or not, but there is rain forecasted for tonight here in Chicago. And, you play the game that's in front of you. First ball swinging, Turner. Nice pick by Durbin. And out number 2. Turner off the bench, not wasting any time. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, don't say rain. When are they going to make that up? 2 years from now?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, you play the game that's in front of you. And the importance of this first game. Yes, the Brewers with an 8-game lead. They're comfortably in front. But you got a chance to put a division rival away for the season this week here in Chicago, and it all starts with this first game.
I mean, we get to celebrate it. Fans get to celebrate what this team's been doing. But I think those guys in the clubhouse, they're like, this is what we're doing. This is what city we woke up in. I bet that's kind of the fun part, in a way, to be a player, is you wake up and it takes you a minute to figure out which city you're in, and then it's all about getting yourself ready for that game, and that's all that you care about. We're the ones that get to focus on all the cool numbers and the fun streaks and the franchise stuff.
Tucker straightened up with a fastball by Koenig. 3-0 the count to Tucker. 2 outs in the 8th. Had the Cubs allowed one more run to the Brewers last inning, they would have been able to use a position player to pitch. I'm sure that is on the mind of Craig Counsell. I actually like the fact they changed those rules, especially on a day like this. You don't want a position player pitching. Full count to Tucker, who is 0 for 3. Cubs have just the 2 hits today. A pop-up coming in, Lockridge. He's got the call and the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. A breeze of an inning for
with Grandma Judy because he overslept and he wasn't there to get the delivery from her at the hotel, so had to be left with a team personnel. The guys were enjoying the cookies pregame, and he was joking, you know, you're never too old to get cookies from your grandma. She's done this, he said, every level of baseball. Used to bring him to games, tournaments, and even now today for a doubleheader. So Grandma Judy's cookies for the win.
I love it, and he's so excited to pitch here Thursday. He admits he was a Cubs fan growing up. He was at Game 5 of the World Series. Vaughn strikes out to start the inning. Yeah, he was at Game 5. He pointed to the seat where he was sitting with his family. He's a very close with his family, and he's got a lot of friends. They're all going to be at the ballpark on Thursday. And he said he got the nervous moment out of the way when he was a member of the Pirates. So we'll see Priester on Thursday. Isaac Collins is going to get a pinch hit at bat here. Good to see Isaac back. That will tell you the back is in good shape. He's been going through some treatment. If you were with us earlier, Sophia gave you the report about Collins sleeping awkwardly on a chair in the hospital with his wife delivering their first child. So apparently he's good to go. We'll probably see him in Game 2 as he grounds out.
This is probably a test run, right? Just to see how you feel. Hey, how'd you feel swinging? How you feel moving before committing to a lineup in Game 2. Here's Grant Anderson getting loose in the Brewers bullpen. Still can't get over Priester oversleeping.
With Grandma's cookies in tow.
Did you get a cookie?
I did not. No. Uniformed personnel only, I think. Grandma Judy. That was on the backside of that card. Frelick turns on one. That's going to get down into the corner. Sal Frelick on his way to second. It is a 2-out double. How about Frelick's day? 2 hits, 2 walks, and at this point has scored twice.
Well, you're up by 7. The top of the 9th inning, there's 2 outs. Why not just mail it in? Frelick says, not on my watch. Hits it down the line. I bet if he was feeling super fresh, he probably would have been standing on third base, or if maybe the game was closer, standing on third. Content with a double. Here's Jansen.
Cubs starter Cade Horton had a blister or a fingernail issue, obviously something on his pitching hand. Had to leave this game in the third. 2 2/3 innings with a run allowed for Horton. He's been their best starter since the All-Star break. The traffic the Brewers have been able to generate is impressive. 9 hits, 7 walks, a hit batter. Brewers have 7 runs on the board again. They have scored at least 7 runs, 7 or more runs in 11 of the last 16 games. They are on an epic run right now.
Well, look at just today. Contreras and Yelich combined 0 for 8, a couple of walks.
Good point.
Still putting up 7 runs. Think about other teams. They have 1, 2, 3 guys that they heavily rely on, and if they don't do anything, guess what? You're not going to win.
Jansen, a strikeout to end the inning. Hollowell rights the ship, gets through. Peralta gave up 1 hit across 6 innings. Uribe and Koenig have pitched the last 2 innings, and now Grant Anderson back on the mound to try to finish this one off. Seiya Suzuki leads off on the first pitch. Out to Ortiz. 1 pitch and 1 out. Collins does stay in the game to play left. That moves Lockridge to center field. This was a tight game. Brewers scored first in the 3rd. That was a home run by Terang. Then Durbin homered in the 5th. Durbin with 2 hits, a double, and a homer. 2 RBIs, a stolen base. Brewers added 1 in the 6th inning. Ortiz put the ball in play, and there was a throwing error that led to a run, and then a 4-run 8th. The Brewers lead the majors in innings of 4 or more runs. You know those crooked innings we're talking about?
They haunt my dreams.
35 innings of 4 or more runs in the majors. Cubs are on that list too at 30. They're second in the National League, or third in the National League, behind the Brewers and Dodgers. Crow Armstrong strikes out, and 2 men are out, and the Cubs are going down quickly here in the 9th. Most games with 7 or more runs, 39. We gave you the number 11 in the last 16. That is a crazy number as well. Crazy number. For a team that was thought to be a pitching-heavy team, concerned about where the offense was going to come from.
And the pitching's delivered, right? And the defense is exceptional. You look at the offense, they press fast forward every single time on the pitcher. He ends up making mistakes, or the defense make mistakes. But I do want to give a shout out here to Grant Anderson on the mound. He was the guy that got the loss in yesterday's game. And for him to bounce back on short time to think about what happened yesterday, Pat Murphy wastes no time, put him out there, lights out, gets it done. Good for him and good for the Brewers.
Back on the horse, the Brewers get the win. And now they are a win away from 80. What an incredible ride it has been. A 9-game lead with 38 games left on the regular season schedule, sitting atop the National League Central. Doubleheader of baseball today. It's a split doubleheader. It means we're going to go away for a while after our Brewers Live postgame, and then we'll come right back later tonight. Airtime 6:30 for a 7:05 first pitch with Chad Patrick on the mound. Brewers Live coming up next. Vinny and Steven in our Wisconsin studio.